Yes, it feels like it was just yesterday, doesn't it? The true mark of an excellent custom-built PC was the giant fan controller you could see right there in the front, full with display of fan speeds, voltages, temperatures. What ever happened to those days? Hey guys, Hardware Hound here, and we have a really interesting device to look at. But before we look at the Lamptron SM436 fan controller, it's actually a whole case controller as they call it. But before we look at that, we've got to ask the question, are fan controllers going to go extinct? Now, I'm not talking about like any kind of fan control. Obviously, we still have hubs, fan hubs, and obviously we still have fan headers on the motherboards of cases. But the old school fan controller, the one that went into that 5¼ inch drive bay, are those just gone? Are those obsolete? Are they just barely hanging on to their last thread before they go to an extinction level event? Yes, definitely, because we've got cases that don't even use 5¼ inch drive bays anymore. CDs are just about worthless, and so even like big cases like this, if they have all that extra room, they're going to use it for things like hard drives or water cooling and radiator support. So fan controllers were basically at an extinction level event, never to be seen again. And then Lamptron stopped it. I really think, guys, that Lamptron has the secret to stopping fan controller extinction and doing something really amazing with PCs in general. So the SM436 is this whole case controller. It has multiple slots to control fans. It has multiple slots to control addressable and standard 12-volt RGB lighting. And so even though like some of those ports are a little proprietary, like for instance the 12-volt control, you might need a special pinout to be able to adapt to certain cables, or else you'll need to use some of Lamptron's own lighting cables. They have very solid amperage for the lighting to be able to hook up multiple devices per header, which is great. So the design is fantastic, right? We've got this display in the PCI slots. We've got a controller that is off to the back that we can hide all the wires and everything. Now, I will say that one thing that would have been nice is if Lamptron had included some way to mount that controller to, say, like a hard drive slot or a solid state drive slot. It would have made it a little easier to keep it clean, but even then, it is such a huge improvement to get all that stuff out of the way and then have the display out front. But guys, let me tell you why I think Lamptron is about to undo the extinction level event of fan controllers. Because let's face it, motherboards are doing great, fan hubs are doing great. We don't really need fan controllers. Fan controllers are only going to serve one purpose. They've lost a lot of that practical need, but they can look really cool. And I tell you what, guys, I love what Lamptron did. Going to that PCI slot mount for the display, beautiful. One of the big reasons why I love SLI and Crossfire is that empty space just drives me nuts. I can't stand having a big open spot where it looks like something should be there. But as you guys know, multiple GPUs just seems like it's dying out too. And we're getting less and less support. I'm not even sure why. We're about ready to hit 8K monitors. You're gonna need Crossfire SLI or MGPU, as the DirectX 12 version of it is called. Well, I think that's AMD's, but you get the point, guys. I don't know why AMD and NVIDIA seem to be ditching multiple graphics cards when we've got such a huge resolution jump to be going to here pretty soon. But regardless, if we're gonna go to single cards, I would still want to fill in that space, and because of Lamptron I can. Guys, I think this looks great. Now, I do think this is an entry-level product. It could definitely use some improvements. I would hope to see this thing get something more along the lines of like an OLED display that we can actually program some really cool things. And I think the other thing is Lamptron has had some controllers that have crazy tons of lighting effects, and then they've had some that have not so many. The SM436 has a decent number of lighting effects, but I think there's one thing that every fan RGB controller should do. Let a user pick 3 colors and then let a user pick one pattern to put those 3 colors to of their preference. If somebody would just do that, 3 colors, choose a pattern. That would be the best lighting I think you could possibly get, to not be too busy with full rainbows, but still add that little bit of extra color so it doesn't feel completely dull where you're just either doing a raw color cycle one at a time, or you only have like maybe 2 colors. So that would be some improvements that I could see down the road, but overall, guys, completely amazing, innovative idea. So guys, I just want to say that I am calling that the fan controller extinction event, I think, has been diverted because of Lamptron's design here, and I'm really happy about that. I have a full written review on my website. Check that out in the link in the description below, guys. That will be a great place to see full details of the install. I'm also going to have a second video, and I'm going to show the full lighting fix. That's all it's going to be. I'll talk a little bit about how I got to that and how the remote works over top of the lighting, but that way I can have just a separate video devoted entirely to lighting, and that to me just seems a lot easier than trying to squeeze it in here. Guys, let me know if you like this. Let me know what you think. Is this enough to save fan controllers, or are they still going extinct and this is just too gimmicky? I love it. It's staying in my test bench. It fills in that space nicely. I'm really pleased with it. Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe as always if you want to help me out, and I will catch you later.